Ladies and gentlemen, there is a peculiar stirring that cannot be ignored. It is not the clamor of the world, nor is it the fleeting excitement of ambition. It is a restlessness born of something far greater. You may feel it in the quiet moments when the noise fades and the distractions of life hold no sway. This restlessness is not merely dissatisfaction, but a calling, an urging from deep within your spirit. It is as if you are being drawn to something you cannot yet name, a purpose that feels both distant and intimate, like the faint whisper of a melody you have always known. This restlessness is a sign that you have been chosen for more than the ordinary patterns of existence. It is the divine hand gently pulling you toward a higher purpose, an awakening to the truth that your life is not random but intentional. When God chooses someone, He plants within them this holy discontent, not to torment, but to awaken. It is a sign that the mundane will no longer suffice, because your soul was created for something eternal. Yet this stirring is not without cost. To feel it is to be unsettled, for the soul must leave its comfort to embrace the unknown. It is an invitation to step beyond the shallow waters of what is safe and venture into the depths of faith. Often you may not even understand why you feel this way, only that the life you've been living no longer feels complete. You find yourself searching for meaning in places others overlook, yearning for answers that go beyond what this world can offer. This restlessness is the seed of transformation. It is a sign that God is preparing you for something greater, something uniquely yours to fulfill. To be chosen is to be set apart, and this sense of unease is the first step in that journey. Embrace it, for it is not a burden but a gift. It is a reminder that you are not forgotten, that your life holds significance in a plan far greater than you can comprehend. In this stirring, you begin to glimpse the calling of a Creator who sees you, knows you, and is leading you toward your true purpose. There is a unique beauty in a heart that cannot help but care. When you find yourself moved by the pain of others, when their struggles touch you as if they were your own, this is no coincidence. It is a mark of something divine within you, a reflection of a greater love that has chosen to shine through your life. This compassion, so deeply rooted in your being, is not a weakness or an emotional burden. It is evidence of a higher calling. When God chooses someone, He often grants them the capacity to love in ways that defy explanation. You may find yourself drawn to those who are overlooked, misunderstood, or hurting. Their stories stir something in you, a desire to help, to heal, to carry their burdens even when it costs you. This is not an accident. It is the work of a heart being shaped by the hands of the Creator. Compassion is one of the clearest signs that you are being set apart, for it mirrors the very nature of God Himself. But this gift of compassion is not without its challenges. It often feels like an ache, a weight that presses on you when you witness the suffering in the world. You may wonder why you feel so deeply when others seem unaffected. Yet, this sensitivity is not a flaw, it is a gift. It allows you to see the humanity in others, to recognize their worth, and to respond with kindness, even when it is not returned. Through this compassion, you become a vessel of divine love, carrying hope into places where it might otherwise be absent. There will be times when this love will require you to act courageously, to speak up for the voiceless, to extend kindness to those who seem undeserving, or to forgive when forgiveness feels impossible. In these moments, you will discover that your compassion is not your own. It flows from a source far greater than you. It is God's way of working through you, using your heart to reach others in ways only you can. This profound love is not a coincidence or a fleeting emotion. It is a sign that you have been chosen to reflect something eternal. When you embrace it, you begin to understand that your compassion is a calling, a purpose, and a gift to the world. Life is rarely smooth for those chosen by God. While others may seem to walk an easier path, those with a divine calling often find themselves facing challenges that feel relentless, even overwhelming. These struggles are not arbitrary, they are purposeful. The trials you face are not a sign of abandonment, but of preparation. They are a refining process, shaping you into the person you were meant to become. When God chooses someone, He allows them to walk through storms that test their strength, faith, and resilience. At times, you may wonder why these challenges seem to target you so specifically. You may feel as though the weight of the world has been placed on your shoulders, while others go about their lives unbothered. But this is not a punishment. It is a sacred task. God is not breaking you. He is building you, even when it feels the opposite. These trials often come in forms you least expect. It could be a season of loss, where the things you once relied upon are taken away, leaving you to question everything. It might be a period of loneliness, where the silence forces you to confront truths about yourself that you'd rather avoid. Or it may be an ongoing struggle that seems to have no resolution, a thorn in your side that reminds you of your dependence on God. Whatever the form, these challenges are shaping you in ways you cannot yet see. What sets these trials apart is how they prepare you for a purpose beyond your current understanding. Just as fire refines gold, the hardships you endure strip away what is unnecessary and reveal the strength, wisdom, and character hidden within you. Through the pain, you learn to trust in something greater than yourself. You discover a depth of perseverance and a capacity for faith that you didn't know you possessed. Moreover, these challenges are not just for you, they are also for others. The struggles you face today will become the testimony that inspires someone else tomorrow. When you rise from these trials, you will carry with you a story of hope, resilience, and divine purpose. A story that can only be written by someone who has walked through the fire. The challenges you face are not evidence of failure, but of being chosen. They are the marks of a life set apart for something greater. Embrace them, for they are the shaping tools of a God who is preparing you for a calling that will exceed your imagination. In a world filled with noise and constant activity, there is something extraordinary about being drawn to moments of stillness. When you feel a persistent urge to step away from the clamor and immerse yourself in quiet reflection and prayer, it is not merely a preference for solitude. It is an invitation, a sign that God is calling you to draw near to Him in a way that only stillness can achieve. Prayer is the language of the chosen. It is not always the grand, eloquent words spoken in public, but the quiet, unspoken cries of the heart when no one else is listening. If you find yourself yearning for these moments, for time alone with God, it is because He has placed that longing within you. He is stirring your spirit, reminding you that true strength, wisdom, and clarity are found not in the noise of the world, but in the quiet whispers of His presence. This draw toward prayer is not accidental. It is a hallmark of a life set apart. In these quiet moments, God reveals truths that cannot be heard in the chaos. It is where He speaks directly to your heart, offering guidance, comfort, and conviction. Often, these times of prayer and reflection feel like a deep conversation with someone who knows you better than you know yourself. And in these moments you begin to understand that your life is not your own. It is part of a greater plan that requires your trust and obedience. Yet, this calling to stillness is not always easy to embrace. The world around you demands productivity, noise, and constant engagement. There will be times when choosing prayer over activity feels counterintuitive, even inconvenient. But it is in these moments of quiet surrender that God does his most profound work. He uses the stillness to realign your priorities, strengthen your spirit, and prepare you for what lies ahead. See, you may notice that after spending time in prayer, you feel a peace that defies explanation, a clarity that pierces through confusion. This is the power of communion with God. It transforms, renews, and equips you. The more you lean into this practice, the more you will see how it shapes your perspective, your decisions, and ultimately your life. The inspiration comes from inwardly, like the Fusilieri musician. It comes directly from you by the strengthening of connection with God. It transforms, renews, and equips you. The more you lean into this practice, the more you will see how it shapes your perspective, your decisions, and ultimately your life. This longing for prayer and reflection is not a mere habit or preference. It is a divine calling, a sign that you have been chosen to walk closely with God. In the stillness, you will find not only his presence, but also the strength and wisdom to fulfill the purpose he has placed within you. Sometimes the greatest evidence that God has chosen you is not in what you do, but in how your life impacts those around you, even without your awareness. You may not see it, but others are watching. They notice the way you carry yourself, the decisions you make, and the way you treat people. Your actions, often simple and unintentional, can inspire and encourage others in ways you may never fully comprehend. This quiet influence is not born of your own effort. It is a reflection of God's light working through you. When God chooses someone, their life becomes a testimony, a living example of his grace, love, and power. You may feel ordinary or even unworthy, but the truth is that God delights in using humble vessels to display his greatness. Your kindness, your patience, your unwavering faith in difficult times, these are not just traits, they are signs of God's hand on your life. And through them, he draws others closer to him. You may find people seeking your advice or comfort, even when you feel you have nothing special to offer. They may say things like, "There's something different about you," or "You inspire me." And you may wonder what they see. What they see is God. They see his strength in your resilience, his love in your compassion, and his wisdom in your words. You don't have to strive to be noticed. Your life naturally reflects his light, because you've been chosen to shine it. This quiet influence is not always easy to bear. You may feel the weight of responsibility, knowing that your actions can affect others. You may feel unworthy of the admiration you receive, aware of your own flaws and struggles. But God does not choose perfect people. He chooses willing ones. And through your imperfections, he demonstrates his ability to use even the weakest vessels for his glory. Your life is a ripple in the vast ocean of God's purpose. The way you live, the way you love, and the way you endure speaks louder than any words. You may never fully understand the impact you have on others, but know this: if your life inspires even one person to seek God, it is a sign that he has chosen you to be his reflection in this world. Embrace this role, for it is a sacred calling to shine a light that cannot be hidden.